A murderer was repeatedly stabbed with his own knife by the friends and family of the man he'd killed 90 minutes earlier. Tyrone Williamson was murdered by Anthony George in Bolton after the pair rowed in the street. George, 42, had been in Mr Williamson's home but was thrown out after being accused of stealing his phone. Fueled by vodka and cannabis, George said watch what's going to happen to them before knifing the 25-year-old Mr Williamson 3 times with severe force. Some of Mr Williamson's family and friends began searching the area for the killer after learning of his death, Manchester Crown Court heard. Adam Disa-Green, a friend of both George and Mr Williamson, saw George in the aftermath of the killing. He remonstrated with George, and when he later saw Mr Williamson's half-brother Brendan Carney and another of his friends, Jason Wilden, he told them where he'd met George shortly after the group found George and brutally attacked him. He was stabbed 5 times and suffered life-threatening injuries which required surgery. The knife used to inflict the injuries was the same weapon he'd used to murder Mr Williamson, the court heard. After being arrested, a very angry Wilden told police, "I hope the motherfucker's dead." These individuals were looking for Mr George with revenge on their mind. Prosecutor Jamie Hamilton, KC, said Mr Williamson died in the hours following the fatal attack at about 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, December the 11th, 2021. In December last year, George was found guilty of murder and ordered to serve at least 21 years in prison. Carney was found guilty of wounding him with intent after a separate trial. Disa-Green and Wilden pleaded guilty to the same offence. Now all 3 men have been sentenced for their part in the revenge attack. George was stabbed by Carney, 27, and Disa-Green, 22, while Wilden, 29, punched, kicked and stamped on him. Wilden, who has 36 previous convictions, was declared dangerous and handed an extended sentence for public protection comprising of a jail term of 7 years and 2 months and an extra 4 years on licence. Disa-Green was sentenced to 5 years and 10 months, while Carney received 8 years and 8 months. All 3 will serve 2/3 of their sentence in jail. Wilden will have to satisfy the parole board he is safe to be released. Defending Wilden, Adam Watkins, said the men were traumatised, upset and angry. He said Wilden, of Gilnow Gardens, Bolton, was only wearing flip-flops at the time, which he said displayed the spontaneity of the attack. David Toll for Disa-Green of Singleton Avenue, Harwich, Bolton, said his client was the youngest man involved and he showed a lack of maturity. Carney's barrister, Hugh McKee, said the defendant of Cloister Street, Bolton, had previously stayed out of trouble since 2015. Sentencing Judge Timothy Smith said feelings were clearly running very high. There was shock, distress, upset and anger about what had taken place. The reason to look for and find Mr George was not simply to detain him and hand him into police, but also to do him some harm as revenge or retribution. Please like and comment, and I would love it if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.